What is up, YouTube? Today we are reviewing like the most popular hunting rifle ever. And this is my buddy Brad Hunt. Get used to seeing Brad because he's joining us here on the channel now forevermore.
Yep, I'm excited.
He's pretty okay at outcalling, I've heard.
Yeah, little introduction. So this year, obviously they're not doing it, which is kind of a bummer. But last year, I finished 4th in the world in the pro division. So I guess you can still say I'm the 4th best in the world. I don't know.
If you can teach me how to call elk, you'll be the best in the world.
We'll work on that for sure.
All right, so the Remington 700 is just, the standard in rifles.
Right.
It has been for decades. There are so many Remington 700 clones for a reason. The design is incredible. It did a lot pushing hunting rifles further. But what is it today? When you go spend $630, there's a Remington 700 SPS model.
Yep.
Is it worth it?
Honestly, my honest opinion here is no. For some other rifles that you can get in that same price barrier, I say no. I don't think their quality is up to what it used to be. As you can see here, like this stock on this one, it just feels, I don't know if the right word's cheap, but it's cheaper.
No, I think it feels cheap. We already have several things in it just from shooting it. I dug my fingernail on it, and it's permanent.
Yeah.
You can't wipe it off.
Right.
Like, it feels like a pretty cheap stock. Plus the style of it.
Yeah.
To me, it looks a little sad.
Yep, I agree. And especially for some of these other rifles that we're shooting, just
you can buy
quality.
A good rifle for under $750.
Right.
You can get a good rifle.
Yep.
Okay, so let's forget and when we're looking at the stock, like the seam is pretty nasty, right where you're putting your cheek and stuff. It's just, it has this nice rubberized texture here, which to me is nice. It does feel solid in the hand here. But the rest of the stock, the actual plastic parts, it's just, you can tell this is not a real, even where the butt pad lines up, like it's just not real flush.
Yep.
They've cut a lot on their quality.
Exactly. It shot fairly decent, but not great.
Fairly decent is not what you want in a rifle in that $700 range.
Right.
You don't want fairly decent anymore. You can expect that in the $350, $400 range.
Right.
But up in this range, you're kind of starting to expect something from the gun. So what kind of grip were you getting?
So the best we got with 3 different types of factory ammo was 1.45 MOA.
That's pretty disappointing.
Yes. Like for some other rifles that we were shooting that could be at a cheaper price point, they were shooting better than what this one was. So for $630, I feel like I should be able to get under 1-inch MOA.
I think so. I think in today's market that you should fairly well guarantee that in the $700 range. Okay, let's talk trigger. The trigger, again, is something that, it's not a bad trigger.
No.
You're going to shoot well with the trigger for sure. It's definitely not one of those $350 kind of gun triggers.
Yeah, exactly.
We're stepping up, but it is a letdown to me. I felt it, and you can feel it's like there is just a little bit of creep in there. It's squishy creep, and so it's not like on some guns where you're like, bang,
Right.
It's not quite like that.
If you can call it a smooth creep, I'm not sure, but
smooth creep we're getting in there.
Out of the box, this one's 3.5 pounds.
Cool.
Which isn't terrible. Like I said, there is a little bit of creep in there. Overall, it's fairly smooth, but again, that long creep. So.
And these, of course, come in a million different configurations, but this one doesn't come with a threaded barrel. The butt pad is nice. It's got a little bit of a squish too. So, this is 6.5 Creedmoor, but if you're shooting this in a heavier caliber, it's probably going to be adequate for you. Some of them are pretty tough. The safety, simple. Thumb safety here. You got your cocking indicator, which is nice to have. Your trigger guard here appears to be metal.
It's metal, so that's, I guess, on the quality side, that is a plus. Some of those others, they do have a plastic trigger guard. This one does have the metal. And as far as bolt release and stuff on this one, it is convenient.
So when we get guns coming through here, I think a lot of the focus is is this a good gun or a bad gun? And for the Remington 700, I would say it's neither. it's a good gun for the right purchase and the right person. It's a bad gun for other people, right? If you want to buy the gun off the shelf and use this for your hunting rifle for the next 60 years, I'm like, yeah, let's spend the money somewhere else. But the Remington 700, a lot of people are buying them because of what they're going to put into them. They're going to change the stock. They're going to put Cerakoting on the barrel. They're going to do all kinds of cool stuff to it. And for that, because it's such a ubiquitous platform, this is a great choice.
And if you're the guy that you aren't looking to shoot real tight grouping, I mean, an elk lungs they're huge. So if you sight it in at 300-400 yards and you can get that 2-3 inch grouping, most guys are happy with that.
That's a fine point. Our standards for accuracy, like we're all spoiled in the industry now for what you can buy. But if you're shooting whitetail in the east and it's, you're in a thick forest and you're never shooting more than 100 yards, it's gonna be fine. I mean, it's like, which ventricle of the heart do you want me to hit? It's like,
so I look at it this way: from hunting coos deer in Arizona, they're tiny. I mean, the vitals on those things is 10 inches maybe at most, and you're shooting longer ranges, 400, 500, 600 yards, which you probably shouldn't be shooting on a coos deer anyway. But guys do that. This is not the gun for that because it's such a small target, and you're not going to be shooting those super tight groups. As far as an elk goes, you'll be fine. You'll be hitting it.
And again, we did try several different loads in the gun. It's not like we tried one group and said how it's doing. It's just not there. So anyway, that is the Remington 700. But give this channel a subscribe, because on
July 17th,
we are putting this guy up against 7 other guns in that same under $750 hunting rifle price point. So our review's coming out. So if you're watching this right now, mark on your calendar, July 17, come back to Backfire. If you're watching this in the future, just click on the card and we'll take you right to our roundup video of the best gun under $750.